First of all, we have with us Sister Janee Hill from the News River congregation. She's a pioneer there. And we'd like to talk with you a little bit. Growing up, you didn't feel that pioneering would be for you. Well, what would you say was the turning point?
Well, I would say it was a conversation with my mother. She gave me an illustration of a schoolyard merry-go-round. You know how if you stay on the edge, you can easily lose your balance. However, it's much more difficult to be moved the closer you are to the center. She said the same was true for the congregation. If you wanted to be firm in the congregation, you need to put yourself in the center instead of standing on the fringe. That really struck me, so I prayed about it, and I became determined to move closer to the center of the congregation.
So, how did you do that?
Well, I began with continuous auxiliary pioneering.
That's excellent. It's wonderful that you made that decision. Now, by deciding to continuous pioneer, there were challenges that you faced, weren't there?
Oh, sure. Working out a good service schedule with a full-time job definitely required prayer and planning, but it was worth it. The time spent in the ministry really helped to improve my skills as well as my relationship with the friends. And actually, the encouragement I received from the pioneers motivated me to want to do even more. So last September, I became a regular pioneer.
Wow, with a full-time job, that must have been quite a challenge.
Oh, I knew from continuous auxiliary pioneering, I couldn't work full-time and give any justice to pioneering. So I resigned my position, began working for myself, and after years of living on my own, actually moved back in with my parents. But the biggest challenge, I'd say, was my attitude, adjusting from focusing on material priorities to spiritual ones. However, every time I had financial concerns, Jehovah always provided. And when I prayed that my ministry be productive and that He use me where I'm needed, doors of activity began to open.
What an encouragement to see Jehovah at work in your life. But tell us a little bit about that door of activity.
Sure. Some relatives of mine asked me to join them in preaching in Amharic, which is the language of Ethiopia. It was different and I loved it, but now I worried, as a new pioneer, should I really try to tackle a new and somewhat difficult language? So once again, I took my concerns to Jehovah in prayer. And that very day, I met an Ethiopian woman informally and was able to witness to her with my limited vocabulary. I really felt my prayer was being answered. And since then, I've had a number of heartwarming experiences in the Amharic field. But I would say the greatest blessing by far in expanding my ministry has been drawing closer to Jehovah and centering myself in His congregation.
Well, thank you, Sister Hill, for your experience and your example.